I have made a song with Sumika. The song actually started life last year in November. As I usually do, I often make little loops of music to work on them later. And when I revisit them much later, I make songs out of them. For this loop, I think all that I had was a guitar vamp, and the chords used on it were E major 7th and A minor. Now, let's talk some music theory. We are in the key of E, so our one chord is the E major 7th. Now, in usual circumstances, this would imply that the song is in a major scale. However, what I seem to have done here is followed it up with an A minor chord, which is the 4 minor chord. If it had been a 4 major chord or an A major chord, that would mean it is definitely in a major scale. But since it was a 4 minor chord, it meant that I was gonna need some other scale for it. Sweeties and cuties, I present to you the Maj-Minor Scale. Now, in technical terms, this scale has some proper names like the Mixolydian flat 6 or even the Raga Charukeshi. However, since the first half of the scale is like a major scale and the second half of the scale is like the natural minor scale, I think the best name for it is the name that I have given for it. Say it with me. The Maj-Minor Scale. It goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, flat 6, flat 7, and the octave. To me, the scale often represents a sense of content but veiled within sorrow. The latter half of the scale, being the minor scale, sounds sad and solemn. However, at every other corner, there is always the major third that cheers us up. Anyways, coming back to the guitar loop, when I revisited it months later, I beefed it up with some more instruments. I added drums from MT Power Drum Kit, some expressive strings from Spitfire Labs, and I also played my bass. I was doing all this work during a Twitch stream, and while I was making the track, a sweetie and cutie popped up on chat and agreed to sing on it. Of course, it was the amazing Sumika. I told her to sing whatever she likes, and she came up with some beautiful lyrics and, of course, her trademark multi-tracked vocals, which she's a master of. I'll hand over the stage to Sumika and let her do some of the talking now.
Hi, my name is Sumika, and I had the great privilege of being asked to provide vocals for this track. If I recall correctly, it was quite late one night and I couldn't sleep, and I noticed that our good friend M.A.M.Z was streaming on Twitch, so I thought I would just pop in and say hello. When I got there, himself and Doc were already halfway through making a very lovely sounding loop, and they were gracious enough to ask me if I wanted to provide some vocals for it. Of course, I said yes immediately, any opportunity to work with good friends and lovely people. So I thought I would just talk to you very briefly about my lyrical approach and how I write vocals. My approach is very nonsensical. I essentially work with finding the right sounds to fit a melody as opposed to writing the actual lyrical content first. So primarily it's finding the right vowel sounds which are going to fit a melody. I find doing it this way, I tend to get more of a feeling of the emotions that I'm trying to convey with the melody line, as opposed to really focusing on the actual lyrical content of the vocals. It does then mean that I have to go back and revisit the lyrics that I've written, because very often the words don't make any sense when you put them together in a sentence. However, that's part of the fun, and I really like to make sure that I'm conveying the emotion and the feeling of it before I start to match up the actual English words to match those feelings, because we are quite limited by what words we have to choose from. But I knew as soon as I was given this loop that it was going to be something that was really fun to write around and record, and I was right, and I think we've come up with something really cool, and I'm super proud of it, and I hope you enjoy it. Thanks. Bye.
Welcome back! I hope you liked the song. Thank you, Sumika, for joining forces with me in my quest for world domination. I will leave some links up here where you can find more music by Sumika. This song, as well as many others, as well as photos, will be released on my Bandcamp as part of my album November 22 Dump. Dump is a new album series that I've started from last month, where I will be releasing all the music that I made in a particular month, as well as photos as part of the bonus content. You can support me on Bandcamp, which is where I release all my music, as well as a Sitar Sample Pack. So until the next video, stay untuned. Okay, bye.